ਉਹ ਯਾਰ ਹੁਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਰਤੀ।
ज़्यादा इंस्ट्रक्शन देते हैं
आपके निरीक्षण के लिए हाजिर है श्रीमान।
How are you?
On behalf of Rajiv Gandhi I welcome you to the International Conference on Marketing, Regulation and Sustainability in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. We are very privileged to have with us Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India and Visitor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, Honorable Mr. Justice Sheel Nahru, Chief Justice, Punjab and Haryana High Court and Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, Honorable Mr. Justice Arun, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Vijay Vishisht, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, Professor Dr. Archana Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, Sonipat, Professor Dr. J.L. Kaul, President, All India Law Teachers Congress, Professor Dr. Padma Kumar Nair, Director, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, this international conference has organized by Center for Advanced Studies in Cyber Law and Artificial Intelligence (RDNUL) and Center for Criminology, Criminal Justice and Victimology (RDNUL), in collaboration with the Indian Society of International Law, New Delhi, and All India Law Teachers Congress. Our academic partners for the conference are Equi Law Partners, New Delhi, and Asian School of Cyber Laws, Maharashtra. I now request the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward to light the lamp as we commence the proceedings for the conference. We request the guests to please come forward for the lighting of the lamp. Thank you so much. As we move forward, I request our the Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Chancellor, to please welcome our distinguished guests.
Honorable Professor Kishore Singh, please come on the dais. आप आइए। Namaskar to everyone. It is with great excitement and pleasure that I welcome to all of you International Conference on Navigating the Future, Ethics, Regulations and Sustainability in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, are in collaboration with the Indian Society of International Law in Delhi. I thank the big society, Indian Society of International Law, has given a collaboration with the Rajiv Gandhi National University to organizing this seminar, international conference. Further, I congratulate All India Little Law Teacher Congress, gave collaboration with Rajiv Gandhi National Law University, Patiala, to organize such an international conference. It is further organized by Center for Advanced Study in Cyber Law and Artificial Intelligence and Center for Criminology, Justice and Criminology, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Punjab, with academic partners, namely Equilaw partners New Delhi and Asian School of Cyber Law, Maharashtra. And indirectly, we are connected with, jointly organized with Thapar Institute of Law, Thapar Institute of Engineering College, Patiala, and Faculty of Law, Punjabi University, Patiala. They are also organizing this. Professor Bhupender, खड़े हो जाइए. Sir, he is Professor Bhupender, Dean, Faculty of Law, Patiala University. He very much helped me in organizing this conference. I would like to a moment to acknowledge the esteemed dignitaries who have made today's event possible. Honorable Mr. Justice Surkan, Judge Supreme Court of India and Mr. Rajiv Gandhi National Universities. ऐसा लगता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी सुधर जाएगा. जिस तरह से इधर जजमेंट आ रहे हैं लॉर्डशिप के, अगर कुछ लोगों ने ऑनरेबल जस्टिस सूर्यकांत ही कह सकते हैं कि कुछ जजेस पढ़ाई स्टार होटल में लेक्चर देते हैं और जब जजमेंट देते हैं तो दूसरे प्रकार की बातें करते हैं. अभी इलाहाबादिया वाला जो जजमेंट आया है, जिन लोगों ने आर्गुमेंट सुना होगा, बहुत से लोग कहीं डर के मारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में प्रैक्टिस न करना बंद कर रहे हैं. और बिल्कुल अच्छी स्टेप है, हम वेलकम करते हैं. जब जजेज सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कम फॉरवर्ड आते हैं तो उसका इम्पोर्टेंस पूरे देश में जाता है. पूरा देश में इस बात की चर्चा है. चुनाव आयोग जो हुए थे उनका क्या नाम था, और 91 में 93 में सेशन, TN सेशन चुनाव का होता था और डिस्ट्रिक्ट और जो DM और कमिश्नर और SSP 4 बजे तक कार्यालय में बैठे रहते थे, पता नहीं किसी बर्खास्तगी का ऑर्डर आ जाए। तो लॉर्ड निश्चित रूप से यू आर गिविंग मैसेज टू द एंटायर कंट्री दैट नाउ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज रियली एक्टिविज्म दिख रहा है कोर्ट्स में, पब्लिक इसका वेलकम कर रही। थैंक्स टू लॉर्ड ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस, ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस लागू, चीफ जस्टिस पंजाब एंड हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट, and Honorable Chancellor Rajiv Gandhi National University of Punjab. He is giving so much help to us. जब भी हमको कॉल करते हैं, हमको बुलाते हैं, समय देते हैं, और हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का इंटायर रिफॉर्म होने जा रहा है। ये अपने यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए समय दे रहे हैं, हाई कोर्ट में कर रहे हैं, और जितने कम समय में उन्होंने पॉपुलरिटी गेन किया है पंजाब में, हरियाणा में, बहुत कम लोगों को प्राप्त हुआ। He is doing very well. He is respected on behalf of the bar, judges, lower judiciary, and entire administration, and entire people of the Punjab and Haryana. I welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Arompalli, Judge Punjab and Haryana High Court. He is also member of General Council of Rajiv Gandhi National Universities. हमारे हर प्रकार की मदद करने के लिए, हेल्प करने के लिए, यूनिवर्सिटी के कार्यों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हमेशा हेल्प करते हैं। I honorable Mr. Sanjay Vasisht, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, who came here and he is our chief guest. हम उनका थैंक्स करते हैं, वेलकम करते हैं। प्रोफेसर जेल कौल, प्रेसिडेंट ऑल इंडिया लॉ टीचर कांग्रेस, फॉर्मर वाइस चांसलर एंड फॉर्मर प्रोफेसर, कैंपस लॉ सेंटर दिल्ली, देश के बड़े एकेडमिशियन, अभी भी लीडर हैं। हम लोग तो उनको लॉ की चलते फिरते लाइब्रेरी कहा करते हैं, और बहुत बड़े कैंडिडेट हमारे यहाँ आए। आई था वेलकम हिम। प्रोफेसर किशोर सिंह, फार्मर यूनाइटेड नेशंस रिपोर्टर ऑन राइट टू एजुकेशन। सर प्रोफेसर किशोर सिंह सर जा खड़े हुए हैं। फार्मर यूनाइटेड नेशंस रिपोर्टर ऑन राइट टू एजुकेशन। यूनाइटेड नेशन ने जब राइट टू एजुकेशन पर काम करना शुरू किया, ही अपॉइंटेड रिपोर्टर्स फॉर थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज, और पूरे दुनिया में इन्होंने काम किया। हमारे इन्विटेशन पर ही केम, हम उनका हेल्प लार्थिक की तरफ से कहते हैं, उनका वेलकम करें। हमारे सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट गेस्ट हैं। नरेंद्र सिंह, एक्स एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी एंड लीगल एडवाइजर टू द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लीगल अफेयर्स। सर जरा खड़े हो जाए। हमारे यहाँ डिवीजन में फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री में रह चुके हैं और इंडियन सोसाइटी ऑफ इंटरनेशनल के डायरेक्टर रहे हैं। प्रोफेसर पदम कुमार नैया, डायरेक्टर, थापर इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, पटियाला। हमारे यहाँ आए, ही हेल्प मी। I in on behalf of the university, I welcome him, I thank him. Professor Ajay Vasisht, Deputy Director, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. Thapar, on behalf of Thapar Institute of Patiala, he provided help, assistance, honor. जब भी मैं गया, हमारे यहाँ बुलाया, तुरंत फोन उठाते हैं, चाहे जितने भी रहे हैं, और हमारे कार्यक्रम में आए। I welcome him, I thank him. Professor Hans was S. Netherlands. प्रोफेसर चैंग डुक कांग, साउथ कोरिया। प्रोफेसर रोजर पी बेस्ट, आयरलैंड। प्रोफेसर अडाम गियोन, नीदरलैंड। प्रोफेसर कोरी कॉक्स, यूनाइटेड स्टेट ऑफ अमेरिका। डॉक्टर दिनेश त्रिपाठी, सीनियर एडवोकेट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ नेपाल। और टचोरोसा फ्रॉम कंबोडिया। लेंजार्नो कार्टेमेक्स फ्रॉम अंगोला। एलिसा जैकब लुडारी फ्रॉम नाइजीरिया। साई ताजनाई आंग फ्रॉम म्यांमार। प्रोफेसर अनुपम झा, प्रोफेसर इंचार्ज, फैकल्टी ऑफ लॉ, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली। प्रोफेसर अर्चना मिश्रा, वाइस चांसलर, डॉक्टर भीमराव अम्बेडकर स्मृति सोनीपत, प्रोफेसर ओपी पांडे थापर इंस्टीट्यूट पटियाला, प्रोफेसर इम्तियाज अहमद एडवोकेट सुप्रीम कोर्ट, प्रोफेसर सुनील अग्रवाल एडवोकेट सुप्रीम कोर्ट, there are number of teachers, number of academicians who are participating in this seminar. सर आप भी खड़े हो जाइए, आप भी खड़े हो जाइए। आइए, next generation will be governed by AI and computer science. Computer came in, mobile came in. It was considered a movement in this field of science and technology. Now, AI, this is the age of AI. Next 20 years, it shall be governed by and regulated by AI. सभी लोग, it is challenge for everyone. I am in touch with the scientist of AI with about a period of 1 month. They give some about very vast knowledge about AI. सर्विस प्रोवाइडर जितने हैं उनकी सेवाएं समाप्त होने जा रही हैं। जितने भी डॉक्टर्स हैं अगले 10 सालों में डॉक्टर्स नहीं होंगे। कोई भी जो भी हार्ट का डॉक्टर है, ब्रेन का डॉक्टर है, वो दवाएं लिखता है, कौन सी दवा किस चीज पर कौन सी दवा AI उनके 10 साल के हिस्ट्री को निकालेगा और बता देगा कि इस प्रकार के कि जब इतना प्रॉब्लम होती है तो ये दवा प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं और उन पेशेंट को उसके घर मिल जाएगा, उनके हाथ डॉक्टर के यहाँ जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। जो ऑपरेशन सर्जरी करते हैं, कैंची उची लेकर घूमते हैं, उनकी तो सेवाएं चलती रहेंगी। जो पेड दवाएं लिखते हैं उनकी सेवाएं समाप्त होने जा रही हैं। उसी तरह से दिस इज चैलेंज फॉर एडुकेशन। बड़े बड़े लॉ फर्म्स जो हैं, अच्छे जो एडवोकेट्स हैं, सर्विस के लायर्स, टैक्स के लायर्स, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल के लायर्स, क्रिमिनल लॉ के लायर्स, और कुछ सेट पैटर्न होते हैं उनके, बड़े बड़े लायर्स होते हैं। वो पर्टिकुलर केसेज होती हैं और ड्राफ्ट करते हैं, आर्गुमेंट्स करते हैं, कुछ लाइनें फिक्स होते हैं। AI के 10 साल के आर्गुमेंट के पूरे थे जो उनको, क्योंकि कंप्यूटर पर तब होता है 10 साल का रिकॉर्ड निकालेगा और बता देगा कि इस प्रकार के केस में इस प्रकार के ड्राफ्टिंग करते हैं, इस तरह के आर्गुमेंट करते हैं। ये जो AI खड़ा होगा उसके सामने, उससे पहले ही गांव को वकील आता, ढूंढता है कि कौन बढ़िया वकील है, क्या है, कैसे है, क्या पहुंचता है, और उसको घर पर AI बता देगा कि उस वकील के पास जाओगे तो इस प्रकार के ड्राफ्टिंग करेंगे और इस प्रकार के आर्गुमेंट्स करेंगे। तो इस प्रकार की जो सेवाएं देते हैं सर्विस जो प्रोवाइडर्स हैं, उनकी दुकान अब बंद होने वाली है। टीचर्स के लिए बड़ी वार्निंग है। एक लेक्चर तैयार कर लेंगे, 2 लेक्चर तैयार कर लें, पूरे देश में बताएंगे यहां लेक्चर दिया, वहां लेक्चर दिया, ऐसा किया, वैसा किया। आजकल 3 क्रिमिनल लॉ पर विगत 1 साल से बहुत लेक्चर चल रहे हैं। टीचर लोग 2-3 लेक्चर तैयार कर ले रहे हैं, पूरे देश में घूम करके दे रहे हैं। अब आपका बायोडाटा AI बता देगा पिछले लेक्चर में आप TAD ले चुके हैं इस पर, ठीक है। तो इस लेक्चर पर आप 2-3 जो है ऑलरेडी TAD ले चुके हैं और आप अपनी बहुत विद्वान बन चुके हैं। अब आप कुछ नया लेकर के आइए, अन्यथा आपके ठीक है AI आप क्या करने वाले पहले ही आपको बता देगा कि ये लेक्चर आप 3 दे चुके हैं। लॉ के विशेष कर प्रोफेसर लोग बहुत अलर्ट हो जाए, जो 1 लेक्चर तैयार करके, 2 लेक्चर तैयार करके, 10 लेक्चर तैयार कर। प्रोफेसर कौलदार, हम लोगों की दुकान बंद होने वाली है। प्रोफेसर झा, जो हम लोग कुछ फिक्स चैप्टर लेकर पढ़ाया करते हैं, बड़े बड़े विद्वान बनने का बनते हैं, वो दुकानें बंद होने वाली है। थोड़ा लॉर्डशिप से परमिशन लेंगे, हम लोग रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे, जिस तरह से राहुल गांधी के भाषण पार्लियामेंट से बाहर कर दिए जाते हैं, उसी तरह से मेरे भाषण को पार्लियामेंट्री सेमिनार से बाहर कर दीजिएगा। जुडिशरी के लिए भी बड़ी चुनौती है। विगत 10 सालों से जजेस किस प्रकार के केसेज में किस प्रकार का जजमेंट दे रहे हैं। AI कुछ देशों ने ग्रीस ने रिफॉर्म कर दिया, नीदरलैंड रिफॉर्म कर रहे हैं। उनके किस फैक्ट और किस आर्गुमेंट पर क्या जजमेंट दे देते हैं, ये जुडिशरी पहले से AI जजमेंट दे देगा। एक और प्रॉब्लम है, कुछ जजे वो एडवोकेट चाहते हैं गांव से लोग कि शहर में किस वकील के कहने से कौन वकील किस बेंच में खड़ा होगा तो कैसा जजमेंट मिलेगा। उनकी दुकान बंद होने वाली है, क्योंकि जजेज पर भी दबाव है कि इस एडवोकेट के आने पर इस प्रकार के जजमेंट देते हैं। AI एक प्रकार का लोकायुक्त की तरह काम करेगा। तो दिस एथिक्स एंड मॉरलिटी का ही प्रश्न इसी पर हमें समझा रखा है। Those persons who will not follow ethics and morality, they cannot survive in next future world. साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के एज में यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो रेगुलेशन बनाया है उसका यही है पर्पस। एथिक्स, मॉरलिटी, फिलॉसफी, इसका इंपॉर्टेंस बढ़ेगा और जो उसको फॉलो नहीं करेंगे उनके लिए उनकी आर्टिफिशियल जो विद्वता है वो खतरे में। बी अलर्ट, हम इस पर चर्चा करेंगे और जो भी हम आउटरीच होंगे पब्लिक के बहुत सारे डेट्स कई बदलती रहे, इस कारण से बहुत से हमारे लोग नहीं आ पाए ऑनरेबल जजेस की वजह से, लेकिन हम इसको ऑनरेबल जजेस से भी कहेंगे कि बेंच की तरफ से कुछ आर्टिकल प्रोवाइड करें, अच्छे रिसर्च पेपर प्रोवाइड करें। हमारे जो पंजाब और हरियाणा और दिल्ली के अच्छे साइंटिस्ट हैं उनसे भी हम उनसे सहयोग करेंगे और अपने इस इंस्टीट्यूशन पर प्रोबेबली राजीव गांधी नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी shall be the first university where we are going to introduce a course on AI and learning. तो कोई भी हमें बुक पर कैसे प्रस्तुत करें वो तैयार करना चाहेंगे, उसको नया करिकुलम तैयार करेंगे और जो भी होगा लार्ड के सहयोग से वी शैल पब्लिश इट एंड वी शैल इंट्रोड्यूस इन आवर सिलेबस। थैंक यू, नमस्कार टू एवरीवन।
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Yuneet Walia to please assist Professor Jai Singh to offer souvenirs as mark of appreciation and welcome to our distinguished guests. Professor Shankar. We also have special token of appreciation from Department of Law, Punjab University for Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant. Ibneet ma'am. And also for Honorable Mr. Justice Chancellor. Thank you so much. I move on to invite Professor Padma Kumar Nair, Director, Thapar Institute of Information and Technology, to please address the gathering.
Good morning and namaste. Honorable Justices, Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, Vice Chancellors, I must admit that I'm not really an expert on any of these. But I want to start with the familiar sound we all hear all the time. It's a typical scenario of an Indian road. Last evening, with the help of one of the AI LLMs, I've made a rough estimate of how many million liters of petrol is consumed extra because we honk on an average 10 minutes per day. I made certain assumptions of 50 million cars and such. The calculation came to about 250 million liters of petrol we spend extra because we unnecessarily honk. And that is translated to about 2,500 crores of rupees wasted. And you can extend similar calculations in so many other areas of when do we switch off lights, fans, and many, many other areas. Not only energy use, also water use, and also other pollution. We all know that fundamental reason for this is generally captured in two broad terms. One is what is called the tragedy of the commons. What are the commons here? Air, water, these beautiful surroundings. We can pollute using sound, using chemicals, using submicron particles. So there are two interesting characteristics about the tragedy of the commons. One, it is free or practically free. And two, there are no restrictions. And another interesting aspect of this is, it is not just because we experience that phenomenon of tragedy of the commons. Unfortunately, we also experience what is called the evolutionary mismatch. In the last 10,000 years, probably our human brain from a cognitive neuroscience point of view did not evolve that much. But think about it, the type of problems our ancestors were solving in the last several 100,000 years, there are three simple characteristics of those problems. Those problems are simple, dangerous, and needing immediate solution. You cite a line, it's a simple problem, it's not a complicated one. You cannot wait for the solution, either you fight back or run away. Simple, dangerous, and problems needing immediate solution. Modern problems, contemporary problems, are not those. They are in general complex, not so dangerous, and solutions can wait. Education and research and reflection and introspection, it is all about retraining this, unfortunately, this old evolutionary brain to deal with modern problems. So the tragedy of the commons, combined with this cognitive evolutionary mismatch, creates most of these problems. Now the question is, how do you deal with it? You know, it's very interesting. We all think that if you give a speech of 5-10 minutes, people are going to listen, they're going to change their behavior. We are fooling ourselves. Almost nobody is going to change their behavior just because you give a speech. That's not going to happen. How do we address this? I do not have a simple solution. These are what is called wicked problems. In 1973, two German scholars in the United States wrote an interesting paper. The title of the paper was something like Dilemmas in Policy Making. And they defined an interesting term called wicked problems. Any problem worth solving is a wicked problem. And also remember, if it is a wicked problem, that means it's an interesting problem worth solving. It would have potentially a lot of impact on humanity. You cannot think about a solution. You can only think about some kind of a solution as an opportunity for finding a better solution. Now, how do we address it? In the last 5 years, one of my doctoral students had worked on a concept called excellence orientation. Now, in general, she defined that as a cultural construct. And you know that most of the scholarly work, research papers, mostly those are heavily influenced by Western thinking. But most Western countries, they do not face this problem of achieving the last mile excellence. You know, we might see a beautiful building, but the tiles are not placed properly, or the paint job is not done properly. The last mile or the last bit, we go into the traditional idea of that unfortunate jugaad. I'm not blaming or always thinking jugaad as something negative. Jugaad is also positive and beautiful, but it is not always the case. So, for achieving excellence, you need not think about quality or achieving a set standard. You need to get into this journey of wanting to do it better than before. This idea of wanting to do it better than before. Remember, we Indians are brilliant when it comes to dealing with problems with criticality. Look at our nuclear reactor safety, probably one of the best in the world. Look at our aircraft maintenance, air safety, excellent. Look at our space program, excellent. Why? There is nothing like a partial takeoff. There is nothing like a leaky reactor. It is nothing like, you almost tried to launch that satellite. So when criticality is involved, we Indians are brilliant. But when it comes to achieving the last mile, the last bit and doing it better than before, we fail. So the idea of dealing with this tragedy of the commons is somehow encourage the society to get into this journey of excellence seeking. Back home at Thakur Institute of Engineering and Technology, we have a quote. We say, empathy is the mother of excellence. Empathy, if you look at the cognitive science of empathy, at least it has two components. A cognitive one and an affective one. The cognitive idea of empathy is your ability to simulate other people's emotions. If I do this as a teacher, if I teach my class this way, if this is my pedagogy, how would my students feel? That is the idea of feeling what others would potentially feel. Then your ability to emote with them, feel with them, a cognitive part and an affective part. So, think about it. In our life, we typically do mostly for others. We get into this cycle of learning and creating and helping, learning, creating and helping. Helping whom? Helping others. If you are thinking about helping others, if you can emote with them, if you can understand their emotions and emote with them, you will get into this journey of excellence seeking. I want to do it better than before for my students, for my colleagues, for my society. And we Indians are also very proud that we are family oriented. I get scared. If we can consider our family as our nation, then I'll be the happiest man. Family-oriented shows that several systems are not working. Institutions are not working because we need the support of the family. If our institutions work well, we don't have to always claim that I'm family-oriented. Our nation is our family. And also, when I talk to our students, I rarely advocate for moral puritanism because we can rarely practice that consistently. So why don't we, for the time being, for practical reasons, for the reasons of humanity, why don't we slightly change our moral puritanistic ideas to ethical consistency? And finally, there are so many examples I can take. For example, airport security. Across the world, airport is a place, it increases the cortisol level in your blood. You can empirically prove it. Worldwide, stress costs about $5 trillion. That's larger than Indian economy. These are all important for creating a sustainable, ethical world. And one of the solutions for that is to have a well-trained large language AI model. Even honking, we can easily, we can catch people for speed, for honking also we can catch them if we have the right well-trained model. I can keep on talking. I'm again thankful to all of you for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. Namaste. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Corey Cox to please address the gathering.
Namaskar. I'm going to admit that I changed my topic very last minute on Friday because of a WhatsApp message that a friend sent me. So I'm going to be a bit scattered today, but I'm going to try to keep it brief. And I have a few notes to keep me from being completely scattered. First, I want to thank the Vice Chancellor for the opportunity to be seated at this on the stage with so many prominent speakers in the legal practice and scholarship. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am, and I'm going to actually keep track of time. I'm an engineer, so I'm on the other side of things, but I'm also a social scientist. At the close of 2025, I'll actually have a BA, 3 masters, and a PhD. My PhD is in network science, and that's a more general field. AI tends to be neural networks. It's one type of network. I study networks more generally. But I've also studied justice administration. I've studied political science and international relations and lived in many countries. I also was an advisor to the Chief of Staff for the U.S. Army for 3 years before he retired on a whole breadth of topics. One was AI, another was the Ukrainian war and Russian relations. So I'm kind of a bit of that unicorn that somewhat represents the topic of our conference today. I'm both technology and law to social sciences, we'll say. So my original topic that I wanted to discuss was this idea of prestige. I've lived here in India for a year, and prestige is very important. Society is very important as a value to Indians, and this is something that I've had to adjust to. I sit in a small village in the outskirts of Chandigarh with many students who are preparing for government exams or entrance exams to universities like this one. And many of them will not get these very prestigious jobs, and yet they spend an enormous amount of time and energy preparing for these exams. It's admirable, but it's probably one of India's most undervalued assets. There are a lot of very intelligent Indian people studying in the early 20s for years for an exam that they may not have a high enough ranking to in fact secure the government jobs that have prestige. So I want to speak a little about the foundational models. I hope that the India AI initiative does not take us down the road, and I lived here for a year and hope to stay for much longer, of developing our own foundational models. I think it's a prestige project that won't have significant impact on the average Indian. India has its own set of very unique challenges. I think this was echoed in the speaker just before. And prestige projects like foundational models will not solve issues of agriculture, education, poverty, the things that really will take India from, let's say, independence. Let me quote someone. And then I'm going to talk about this too. So Dr. Ambedkar, he said that power and prestige will come through struggle. He was talking about independence. But I think the sentiment still applies today, that power and prestige will come through struggle. And the struggle today may not be independence from a colonial power, but it's from poverty. And I don't believe that if we put too much of our resources into a foundational model, we're going to achieve what we want to achieve. The foundational models that exist can serve India quite well. I think India needs to do what it does best, and that's use its brain power to solve very specific Indian problems. And that's why I'm here, because I want to bring the engineering expertise to solve real-world problems that have impact today. And so I'm gonna echo the same sentiment by talking about something that Microsoft told us that they had finally discovered, this new particle, a subatomic particle called the Majorana, that is going to revolutionize quantum computing. I've looked at this, I've read the research paper, they may have something. And this is going to take the global south gap between the West. Right now we're trying to take our high performance computing clusters here and meet and have parity with the West. This is going to fundamentally change AI. I mean by 100-fold. If they have in fact done this, the problems that are intractable on a normal computer may be tractable on these new Microsoft hardware, patented, very expensive, hard to acquire. We can't create our own. They'll have a patent on them. So these resources will be expensive. Microsoft will have exclusive access to them. Their Copilot AI foundational model will be the one that can do quantum problem solving. And it's going to put India in an even more pronounced situation where it needs to decide, where do we put our resources? Where do we put our brain power? Is it on government exams and entrance exams? Do we somehow find a way to recruit these students? Let them study, but also somehow get them working on these real-world problems and not the foundational models. Because these foundational models, once they add quantum computing capabilities to solve some of these intractable problems, the gap is huge. I think if we focus here in India on economic development through AI, with the technology that is accessible to us right now, partner where we can with places that have the foundational models, the high computing, performance computing resources, but don't try to reinvent the wheel. This is really going to be difficult. And so I'm going to keep this brief. If anyone's interested in the quantum computing announcement that Microsoft has put out, I'd be glad to talk about it offline. But I think this really underscores, again, what I hope we do, now that I kind of consider myself an adopted Indian, here is focus on our problems and not prestige projects like foundational models. So I'll end there, and I appreciate your time, and I'd love to talk to everyone offline.
Thank you, Professor Cox. I now invite Professor Art Groen to please address the gallery.
Good morning. Dear Vice Chancellor, thank you for the opportunity to talk here with the esteemed guest. My field is entrepreneurship. I look at new things, how to create value out of new things. Well, if one thing is happening with AI is that there are new things created with it and there is value created with it. At the same time, we have a very interesting title today, Navigating the Future. Navigating the future sort of assumes that you have a goal or an end point and that you navigate your sailing boat and you navigate to that point. But I think that new technologies such as AI is in the realm of uncertainty. We actually don't know exactly what is possible with that, and we don't know where we will get if we sail the boat of AI. Is that bad? No, I don't think so. It's normal in entrepreneurship. I could go into all kind of theories, but don't have time for that. But I want to mention to you one. This is of Professor Saraswati. Yes, from India originally, working in the US. and she made a theory about effectuation. How do entrepreneurs decide under uncertainty? And they decide in a way they keep in first instance close to themselves. They use their resources, they use their networks, and they interact with people to see, okay, where am I going? Where can I find traction? Where is the next position of making value? I like that theory a lot also for this part. It means navigating is more like what the Vikings did when they actually, in the end, ended up in the United States. But this didn't exist then, of course, but what we now call America. It was probably more Canada where they reached. Anyway, they were just heading west. And at some point, they found some interesting other countries where they were not before. That is how AI will work, I think. We will work with AI, we will make steps. I give you a few examples. And now I go also to regulation. Because you could say, okay, if everything's so uncertain, what should we do with regulation? Should we not have regulation, or should we have regulation? Can we actually regulate what is uncertain? Well, that is not easy. It's a difficult thing. But I think that regulation and institutionalization is actually the basis of how you can navigate. You need to have a good institutional regulation which also protects certain values. Let's call it the boat of the Vikings. Those had a design, they were constructed in a certain way, they could go into high seas and they would survive, usually. That's where we need regulation for. How does that work? Well, it's very complex. Give you just one example. I'm doing a lot of work in medical innovation, and AI is one of the fields where most medical innovation is momentarily happening. For example, to diagnose if somebody has cancer or not, for example, colon cancer. There are algorithms for that, and they can help a doctor to assess if certain bleaks on the picture which they made are actually cancer elements or just bleaks. And that's very difficult to see, and with AI you can try to assess that. So AI makers promise this helps the doctor half of the time. Issues are actually simple and AI can find it very quickly, so that saves time. This is not true. Doctors are responsible under regulation for every diagnosis they do. So what is actually happening? Doctors make a diagnosis themselves. They also let the AI do it. So they judge their own diagnosis and then they have to judge the AI diagnosis. Imagine those things are not the same. Then they have to think, am I wrong? Is AI wrong? Okay, maybe AI is right this time. Or they think, no, AI is not right. If they think AI is not right, the doctor is the regulator, is the boss, is the person who decides what is the diagnosis. So the doctor says, it's my diagnosis. Now, one of my colleagues did research in New York under physicians, and these physicians said, so this is interesting, AI. How does that work with the medical dossier? Where does the data go for the AI? Does it go in a patient medical dossier? Well, actually, that's compulsory. That should go. In the Netherlands, it's the same. If the doctor uses certain information, that goes into the medical dossier. Now imagine 1.5 years later. The doctor kept to his own diagnosis, and the AI predicted something else. And after half a year, it seems that the AI is right. What will happen in the Netherlands? Well, it's a medical issue, and so they will pick it up and they will work on it. What will happen in the US? The doctor will probably be sued and has to pay a lot of money because he made a mistake, and he could have known better because there was AI. So a lot of doctors there say, if you put it in the medical dossier, I will not use it. Now, but that's an effect, you know, this is a difficult, really dilemma. Because you do want it in principle in the dossier, because that's openness, and the patient has right to know what's going on, and at the same time, if that leads to this kind of, non-adoption, you could say, then that's very counterproductive. So my statement here would be, to navigate the future, we do need regulations, but we need to look very well on what regulations and how we regulate, and we probably have to innovate the regulations too. well, then I think I'm here at the right address, the Law University, where I assume that institutional and regulational innovation is work for you. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I now invite Professor Roger West to please address the gathering. Professor West. Thank you. I now invite Dr. Kishore Singh, former United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to education.
Honorable Justice Surikant, Honorable Justice Nagu, Honorable Justice Ali, Honorable Justice Vasist, Honorable guests, distinguished participants, good morning. We today hear all the time probably the most important global issue, AI for humanity. And it has numerous implications. Only a few days back, there was a global summit in France where our Honorable Prime Minister participated, and the summit was on AI for humanity. This summit was organized in order to look into something very complicated, how to consider ethical dimensions, human rights dimensions of AI, but at the same time, how to reconcile the need for innovation, as was pointed out, with the imperative question of regulation. I would say we are living in a world of ethical and, more importantly, moral turmoil. How do we regulate artificial intelligence and ethics of digital technologies in all walks of life? This is a big question before the global community, intellectual community, agency. And therefore I would like to congratulate the university, Professor Chancellor Singh and his team for organizing this very important event, which I would say is most timely from point of view of legal profession, but also other professions. I would like also to just mention something which is not so much publicized or known, and that is the dark side of the digital. We all hear huge propaganda. In fact, the whole digital technology is elemented, fed, because of the huge publicity given by which they make money, with the result that a very few companies, tech giants, are richest in the world. But we do not give much consideration in our intellectual debate on how virtue is also vicious on the dark side. A few months back in France, I was shocked, I lived there, parents took children to hospitals, to psychiatric centers, because 4 or 5 year child could not look into eyes of the parents, since they were all the time playing on the games. We will soon have a generation which will not know how to write. Handwriting will be vanished. There are many other things. But what is most important is to look into our traditions and import the negative effect of digital technologies and AI. One professor, Nicola Carr, has written a beautiful book, What Does Internet Do to Our Brain? He has said, Internet, of course, is instant connectivity, most useful, but it scuttles what he calls meditative thinking. Meditative thinking, which is at the root of Vedic literature and India's rich philosophic heritage. And there are a number of other issues which diminish humanity in one or other way by recourse to these technologies. Even epistemological implications, take for example legal profession. We have through large language models kind of now possibility of whole internet being put on pattern with the result that we can draft by AI instruments, legal text, and do a number of things. But when you look into jurisprudence, it has to be biased, because the basis is the Western jurisprudence. And there are therefore scales of threat to humanity, and that is why UNESCO in 2021 adopted a recommendation which is known as Ethics of Artificial Intelligence, in order to emphasize that we need to preserve human rights, and particularly put artificial intelligence in the service of humanity. The most dangerous thing and complicated consequences of digital technologies are on our private life. And that is what distinguishes digital technologies from all technologies of the past. The very fact that you are using these technologies means you are captivated. There is no question of any private life for anybody whatsoever. And who controls this? A few digital giants. But these various aspects of diminishing effects of humanity are most worrying when you look into the threat, existential threat that digital AI poses to humanity. AI, which is at the cutting edge of digital technologies. No less than Elon Musk, the people who created digital technology, they are giving this call in a very alarming way. And therefore, we have to think into this. And I will conclude by saying that I hope that this conference will be a pace setter, where we will continue to reflect on the need for taming digital and AI monster, because this is a monster created by human hand, and there is a now debate launched in terms of normative form through the Pact for the Future adopted by United Nations, in order to look into how we can regulate large autonomous lethal weapons which are a threat to the very existence of humanity. So these are a few legal issues which I wanted to highlight, without ignoring completely the benefits of AI, but I think that we must look from legal perspective into this and into many other questions of law and justice which will arise when we implement digital technologies and AI. Thank you so much. And good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I now invite Professor Hans van Ace to please address the gathering.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank Mr. Vice Chancellor for the opportunity to say a few words, and I also express my gratitude to the esteemed guests, the honorable judges from the Supreme Court and from the Courts of Justice. I'm a professor of corporate governance, and corporate governance is the study of the institutions within corporations that direct and control the interests of the different stakeholders. So it has a lot to do with corporate decision making. And I come from time to time in boardrooms, and I can assure you that the issue of artificial intelligence is a very important question over there, because there's lots of discussion on how artificial intelligence may change operations, or may even change business models, complete business models, or even exposes threats to corporations and to society, cybersecurity, etc. And while there is lots of discussion, there are not yet definite answers. So if we want to discuss, let's say, the implications of AI in corporations, but also wider in society, I indeed have to line up with my colleague and say if we need to characterize that kind of decision-making as decision-making under fundamental uncertainty. So the problem of AI is indeed what we call a wicked problem. The integration of artificial intelligence in society is indeed a wicked problem. And in that respect, I would like to sort of make a little bit, explain a bit the difference between what kind of problems. We have very complicated problems, and very complicated problems may have to do with the organization of our infrastructure, or how planes can safely land, or how we build planes, etc. And we have complex problems. And those complex problems are different, because complex problems deals with the kind of things that we do not know. We do not know our unknowns. So AI is a problem, how to deal with the unknown in society. And the way we deal, and there I see a very interesting connection to your field. Because the way I see law deals with institutions, with rules in society. So, and in particular, the kind of problems that law is dealing with the way we organize our society through institutions are problems that are not complicated, but they're complex. And the way we deal with complex problems is through dialogue and deliberation, sense-making. And I believe that, and usually that takes time, and that kind of solution method is kind of slow, but it's very important. So I congratulate you with this conference, because I do believe that, let's say, experts in institutions are very much needed into this discussion, because the institutional component will in the end create the coherence in which, let's say, we can all benefit from the fruits that, let's say, technology and artificial intelligence is going to bring. But that context is very important. I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Attila to please address the gathering.
Good afternoon. Dear guest, dear Vice Chancellor, esteemed guest, Excellencies, it's a great pleasure and honor to talk to you 3 minutes. And if I would ask ChatGPT to prepare a speech about higher education, because my background is higher education research, I'm a higher education researcher, mainly linked to the academic profession and changes of universities. Most likely, ChatGPT would provide me an excellent structure and an outline. What should I tell you? But ChatGPT most probably would not tell me that, Attila, you should ask to have more time, because to answer this question and provide you some insights is more complex, and we would need more time. AI is always very polite, very often provides not the right answer, but is trained to provide answers. And this is also about universities. What we have to do in order to navigate to the future, educate people, next generation, provide research, teaching, community engagement, and third, mission services. And here I think we all agree that AI could support us being more effective and efficient, but also creates challenges for us, like how to organize assessments. If students are able to use AI, what is the meaning of a master thesis? What is the contribution of a professor evaluating this paper if we could use AI? So it seems that AI is rapidly changing not only our societies and our working conditions, but also our habits. And as we know, universities and higher education institutions are not really famous because of this willingness to change. But somehow we are forced to change. And last summer, I thought, well, AI is coming to higher education. I need to develop my own AI cockpit. And most likely, most of you already using ChatGPT or other solutions. Most likely this list of AI tools are kind of growing, and we are not really able to monitor which is the best application today, because most likely tomorrow is already outdated. So the question is how to deal with this change of speed, how we use the knowledge which is available, and at the end of the day is all about effectiveness and efficiency. But there is something else, and this is the human nature and the human factor. If we focus only on effectiveness and efficiency, we might lose something. Yes, we might be able to answer those wicked problems with the solutions and support of AI. Yes, we might be more happy at the end of the day because we think that, well, we are more productive based on our KPIs, on the key performance indicators, provided by the university leadership in my case, to develop or write research proposals, publications, be able to accommodate more student assignments. Yes, we can be more productive. But what's about our human nature? If we communicate more with AI throughout prompting, and I guess we learned a lot over the last couple of months how to use AI, but how we interact with other colleagues, how we interact with the society. If everybody is using AI, at the end of the day, AI talks to AI. And then our contribution is only prompting. Is it what we really want? Or it's something else, which is maybe a question at this very moment, and we do not really have an answer because everybody is keen to use AI in everyday context. But then the question is, okay, well, what's about my dear fellow at the university? When I met him the last time for a coffee, when we had a chance to talk, because if everything is about tools and technologies and techniques, how can we keep and accommodate the human factor and the exchange towards navigating the future? And here I think maybe a takeaway for us, for the universities and academia, how to balance technologies, and the human factor over time. And maybe this is something where this conference hopefully will also contribute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Sanjeev Bedi to please address the gathering.
Hello everybody. I think we're running a little short of time, so I'll keep my remarks brief. I think AI is challenging us all. AI is causing a little bit of anxiety in most of us. We wonder, hey, how it is going to do, what is it going to do to my profession? When I teach at Waterloo, the way I deal with disruptive technologies is to encourage the students to actually adopt it. Now, when you adopt a new technology, there are always dangers of adopting it in the wrong way or doing something with it which is not acceptable. But remember, you're still in a university environment. A university is a safe place to try out new technology. So I encourage you guys to adopt AI. And as you adopt AI, you will learn to apply it in unique ways in the profession that you have chosen. It is this application in new ways which is going to earn or build your career. That career is going to be different from what previous lawyers have actually followed. It will be a new path. The new path will not necessarily be dangerous. It will not necessarily be filled with, with difficulties. It will be just a new path, something that you will travel and you will tell your kids, hey, this is something trailblazing that I did, and this is how I tackle a new technology to formulate a new future for me. So I personally believe the future is quite bright. I personally believe that you guys have a role to play in it, and I will sincerely hope that you will adopt this new technology and carve a beautiful future for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Center for Advanced Studies in Cyber Law and Artificial Intelligence submitted a comprehensive report on artificial intelligence to the Ministry of IT, providing detailed recommendations on its design, deployment, and governance. The report outlines key policy considerations, ethical safeguards, regulatory frameworks to ensure responsible AI development. I request the faculty coordinator of the center, Dr. Imit Walia, and the students associated, Aditya Jain and Tanmay Durrani, to please come forward for the release of the report. Ma'am, please. I request the guests to please release the report. Thank you, everyone. With this, now I request Professor Rajiv Batish from Thapar and Nair Sir from Thapar to please extend a warm token of appreciation to the dignitaries on the dais. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. As we move forward, I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Sheel Nadu, Chief Justice, Punjab and Haryana High Court, and Chancellor Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, sir, to please address the gathering.
Honorable Mr. Justice Surikant, Judge Supreme Court of India, my esteemed colleagues on the bench, Justice Arun Palli, Justice Vashisht, senior advocates, Angola, Nigeria, Myanmar, Nepal, South Korea, West Ireland, Netherlands, South Africa, and United States of America. Professor Dr. Jaishankar Singh, Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, Vice Chancellors, Professors, assistant professors, and academicians from different universities, Professor Kaul, President, All India Law Teachers Congress, all faculty and staff members of the universities, members of legal fraternity, District and Sessions Judge Patiala, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar and a very good afternoon. I had written good morning, but it's afternoon now. I feel privileged to be a part of this august gathering where luminaries in the field of law and academics have come together. In my capacity as Chancellor of this university, I welcome all the dignitaries on and off the dais who have spared time from their busy schedule to grace the occasion. I am sure that we all shall be benefited by the words of wisdom spoken and ideas shared by all the participants who are stalwarts in their respective fields. I am grateful for the opportunity to address this august gathering at this conference with the theme Navigating the Future, Ethics, Regulations and Sustainability in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. The initiative undertaken by the university in collaboration with the Indian Society of International Law, New Delhi and All India Law Teachers Congress is truly commendable. We all stand at the crossroads of a remarkable technological advancement. Artificial intelligence is no longer a concept of future. It is an integral part of our present. It influences justice delivery, human rights, governance and economic sustainability in ways we could not have imagined a decade ago. However, as we embrace the potential of artificial intelligence, we must also confront its challenges, risks and responsibilities. The theme compels us to ask, how do we ensure that artificial intelligence serves humanity without infringing fundamental rights, deepening inequalities, or undermining democratic institutions? In many of its forms, whether machine learning, algorithms, automated decision-making systems, or predictive analytics by the artificial intelligence, has the potential to impact individual freedoms, economic stability and social justice. But we must ensure that artificial intelligence adheres to ethical fairness, transparency, accountability, and also takes care of human dignity, which is very essential. The United Nations Principles for Ethical Use of Artificial Intelligence emphasizes that AI systems must not be used in ways that cause social, cultural, or political harm. Individuals affected by AI decisions must understand the basis of those decisions and avenues for redress. Regulating is no longer optional. It is a necessity. AI systems are already influencing judicial processes, from predictive policing to automated risk assessments in sentencing. However, without proper legal safeguards, such systems can lead to bias, discrimination, and the erosion of due process. As guardians of justice, courts must play a pivotal role in shaping AI governance by ensuring AI accountability. The legal and ethical implications of AI's role in justice must be approached with caution to ensure that while it transforms the legal landscape, it does not further harm those it is meant to protect. Beyond ethics and regulations, sustainability in AI development is a critical concern. AI has a dual relationship with sustainability. It can both advance and threaten it. In present scenario, cases like rape and murder of an individual, the process following the crime, including reporting it, is fraught with its own set of challenges. AI, in its transformative role within the judicial system, has the potential to shift this dynamic by helping to streamline reporting processes, ensuring more efficient handling of evidence, and reducing the emotional burden on the victim by offering support and protection through technology. While artificial intelligence holds transformative potential, it is also a double-edged sword. If AI is introduced without a framework of empathy and ethics, it risks perpetuating the same oppressive structures that continue to victimize individuals in justice system. Courts worldwide, being the custodians of justice, are experimenting with AI-assisted legal research, document analysis, and case predictions to speed up justice delivery. Because as the saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied. So let us work together to shape a future where artificial intelligence is not just intelligent, but also serves humanity in ethical, legal, and sustainable way. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Center for Constitutional Law and Governance at Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, compiled a comprehensive impact assessment of the landmark Supreme Court judgment in Nalsa versus Union of India. It focuses on the transgender community in Punjab, particularly in Patiala and SAS Nagar districts. The aim of the report was to evaluate the judgment's implementation, highlight progress, and identify gaps in achieving social equity and legal recognition for transgender individuals. This report revisits the judgment in view of 10 years of the landmark judgment and outlines challenges in the implementation of the guidelines. The project leads were Professor Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur, Dean Research, RGNUL, Mr. Siddharth Fuller, Assistant Professor of Law at RGNUL, Mr. Ashish Gaur, Assistant Professor of Sociology at RGNUL. I request you to please come forward for the release of the report. Thank you, sir. I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Visitor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, to please address the gathering. Sir, please.
Justice Sheel Nagu, Honorable Chief Justice, Punjab and Haryana High Court, and Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National Law University. my two esteemed colleagues from the Punjab and Haryana High Court, Justice Arun Palli, Justice Sanjay Vasisht, Professor Dr. Chancellor Singh, Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Professor Dr. Kishore Singh, former United Nations Rapporteur, and Professor Dr. J.L. Kaul, my teacher and currently looking after as President All India Law Teachers Congress, Professor Dr. Manoj Sinha, President Indian Society of International Law and Vice Chancellor, Dharmrashtra National Law University, Jabalpur, Professor Dr. Padam Kumar Nair, Director, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. There is a distinguished team of former and serving Vice Chancellors present here. Dr. Archana Mishra is there on the dais. Dr. Priti Saxena, Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh National University is here. Professor Johar is here. There is a very distinguished team of senior educationists, right from Deputy Director to some professors from the Thapar Institute of Engineering who are present with us. We have Professor Sudeep Mandal from Mohali, IISER, Dr. Garima Kaushik, Professor Amit Kulshrestha are also from that institute. Professor Dr. Anupam Jha, Professor in charge, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, Dr. Preet Singh, Professor Bhupender Singh Virk, Dr. Amit Singh, Dr. Preeti Jain, Dr. Deepak Kumar Chauhan, I believe if I will start naming all of you, please excuse me, we'll try to save some time, but we have a distinguished team of the international delegates. We have Professor Hens from Netherlands, Dr. Professor Kong from South Korea, Professor Roser from Ireland, Professor Art Groen from Netherlands, Professor Sanjeev Bedi from University of Waterloo, Canada, Professor Corey Cox and Daniel are from the United States of America. We have Mr. Dinesh Tripathi, Senior Advocate from Supreme Court of Nepal, Natasha from South Africa and Rosa Cambodia. We have Leonardo from Angola and Alicia from Nigeria and Mr. Sai Ong from Myanmar. Dr. Elawa, Chairman, Bar Council, Punjab and Haryana. Senior advocates from the Supreme Court of India, learned district and session judge, other judicial officers of Patiala Session Division, Deputy Commissioner and Senior Superintendent of Police of Patiala District, Registrar, Dean and Faculty of Rajiv Gandhi University of Law. All the distinguished academicians, professors from different universities all over the country who are presenting here in this conference. My dear students, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. My special thanks to Professor Jaishankar Singh and his team for inviting me to be with you on this momentous occasion of an international conference on a very, very sensitive and contemporary subject on the how to navigate the challenges that may, as we are, some of us have apprehended that the AI may pose to us. Well, I am thankful that not only the Rajiv Gandhi National Law University, but even Indian Society of International Law and All India Law Teachers Congress, both have also shared this responsibility of organizing this event. I believe there will be a thoughtful dialogue that will definitely bring together the legal experts, policy makers, technologists and academia from across the globe to discuss all these issues. I would also like to set the context of my opinion in a quote by the renowned, by a very famous naturalist and as we call evolutionary biologist Charles Darwin, and he very famously remarked, and I quote, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, we stand to face this unprecedented change, perhaps a change that will come to define the 21st century. It is my firm belief that mankind's response to the change that artificial intelligence represents will also be the enduring legacy. A highly rigid response would necessarily lead to a practical imbalance, whereas an overly flexible approach would spell danger for our civilization. When we talk of transformative landscape of artificial intelligence, that is the theme of the conference, let's understand that it's a truism that artificial intelligence has rapidly evolved from a theoretical concept to a tangible force that permeates every aspect of our lives, from healthcare and finance to education and governance. AI systems are revolutionizing the traditional practices and redefining what is possible. This transformation, however, is double-edged. On one hand, AI offers unprecedented opportunities to enhance efficiency, predict outcomes, and drive innovation. On the other hand, it raises critical questions about accountability, transparency, right to privacy, and the equitable distribution of benefits. In the legal domain, AI challenges us to rethink the conventional paradigms. Algorithms now assist in legal research, predictive analysts inform judicial decisions, and digital platforms offer new avenues for dispute resolution. Yet these advances also introduce risks such as algorithmic bias, data privacy breaches, and questions about the integrity of decision-making process. While I concede that I am not as well versed with the nuances of AI as some of the global academics who are here to participate in this conference are aware, nevertheless, as a custodian of justice, I can attest first-hand to the pressing need for the balance that must be struck between leveraging technology for progress and safeguarding the rights and values enshrined in our legal system. In this vein, I must hearken back to the theme of this conference, which largely revolves around three key areas. Those are the ethics of AI, how do we regulate AI, and third is sustainability of AI. With respect to the ethics in age of AI, at the heart of our deliberations lies an ethical imperative. The creation of the future must be informed by a steadfast commitment to ethical principles. Needless to say, the principles of transparency, fairness, accountability, and human dignity must serve as the cornerstone of all AI-related initiatives. I recently had the occasion to peruse the United Nations a booklet of principles for the ethical use of artificial intelligence that is drafted in 2022 by the United Nations Interagency Working Group on Artificial Intelligence. A novel initiative I find in these regulations, as these principles by themselves represent a preliminary effort that may help dilute the nebulous nature of AI and align the otherwise alien workings of AI with human values. The need for such initiative obviously arises because ethical challenges run around in the realm of artificial intelligence. Consider, for instance, the risk of the bias, a phenomenon where AI systems inadvertently perpetuate existing prejudices. When computers are trained on data that reflects historical inequities, they risk reinforcing the very injustices that our legal system strives to overcome. The example of Sweden, I think Professor Hans from Netherlands will appreciate in the technical session. In his neighborhood, there is a very glaring example of Sweden, is perhaps the most fitting illustration of the problem I can highlight. In 2013, the government of Sweden started leveraging AI and machine learning tools in its public welfare system to weed out potential cases of fraud. But what happened? This instead resulted in the computers disproportionately targeting marginalized groups. This became so problematic that last year Amnesty International called upon the country to immediately halt the program. One need not be genius to apprehend the frightening implications of bias. AI in a country as culturally diverse and vibrant as India can introduce. Similarly, issues of privacy and consent becomes particularly acute in an area where vast troves of personal data are harnessed to fuel machine learning models. Therefore, to address these challenges, it is incumbent upon us, the judges, lawmakers, technologists, and citizens, to ensure that ethical considerations are not an afterthought but a foundational element of AI development. This requires a proactive approach, one that embeds ethical oversights into the design and development of AI systems, and one that holds all stakeholders accountable for their claims and actions. The law, in its most noble form, must serve as both a guardian of individual rights and a catalyst for societal progress. When we talk of regulatory measures for AI, I must state that at the root of all our concerns regarding AI lays the incontrovertible fact that AI is nearly impossible to efficiently regulate. The rapid pace of technological change often outstrips the slow and deliberate process of legislative reforms. Yet it is precisely this dynamism that necessitates adaptive, forward-looking regulations. I am reminded here of a quote by learned author Lewis Carroll, and what he said, I quote, "It takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. If you want to get something somewhere else, you must run at least twice as fast as that." Now you need to have that kind of regulations and a fast thinking process if really we want to regulate it. That seems to be the apt analogy for the game of cat and mouse that must be played between AI and the surrounding regulatory framework. The current pace at which AI is evolving renders any policy made to regulate it obsolete by the time it can be signed into law. However, the first cogent attempt in this regard, as our friends from Europe will be able to point out, is by the European Union, where they have brought an Artificial Intelligence Act which came into force on 1st of August last year, 2024. The success or failure of that, of course, European Union's novel and unprecedented exercise is yet to be seen, but it may work as a guide and inspire lawmakers around the world for years to come. In India, we have significant strides towards embracing technology while ensuring that its benefits do not come at the cost of individual freedoms. Our legal framework, steeped in the values of justice and equality, provides a solid foundation for addressing the challenges posed by AI. However, as AI systems evolve, so too must our regulatory approaches. As stewards of law, we must seek a middle path, one that safeguards human rights while not stifling the creative potential that AI offers to us. This balanced approach necessitates close collaboration between various stakeholders. The legislator, the technology experts, and legal professionals must work in tandem to craft regulations that are both robust and flexible. The role of the judiciary, too, is evolving in this context. Courts must be prepared to interpret and apply these new laws, ensuring that they remain relevant in an era defined by rapid technological changes. But let us accept that AI is bound to be there, AI is bound to progress, and AI is bound to assist us in a overall progress and development of the country and the society. The conversation on artificial intelligence is incomplete without addressing the imperative of sustainability. In today's interconnected world, sustainability extends beyond environmental concerns to encompass economic and social circumstances and dimensions. AI holds the promise of driving sustainable development, provided that its deployment is managed with an eye toward long-term impact. From optimizing resource allocation in smart cities to enhancing the efficiency of renewable energy systems, AI can be a powerful ally in the quest for environmental sustainability. However, the benefits of AI must be accessible to all segments of society. As I said, that's our commitment, constitutional commitment of equality and justice to all. And so must the AI's tools and the mechanism which we may evolve, that must also provide. As a member of the judiciary, I have long held that conviction that the law must serve as a bulwark against inequity and injustice. In the context of AI, this translates to a commitment to sustainable progress that respects both human dignity and the natural world. It is incumbent upon us to foster an atmosphere where technological advancement and environmental stewardship go hand in hand. One of the foremost scientific minds of the past century, Stephen Hawking, commented on the rapid rise of AI in 2018, and he said very interestingly, I quote, "It will either be the best thing that's ever happened to us," he talks about AI, "or it will be the worst thing. If we are not careful, it very well may be the last thing." I wish to echo these sentiments and caution the excessive reliance on AI, which, as all we know, produces sometimes a negative environmental footprints also. I hope in the technical sessions all these issues will be discussed and deliberated, and we'll find out that how the AI can be used all for positive actions. I would conclude to say, as we navigate the future in the age of artificial intelligence, we are presented with a unique opportunity to shape a world that is ethical, regulated, and sustainable. The challenges before us are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Through collective effort, interdisciplinary collaborations, and an unwavering commitment to our core values, we can ensure that AI serves as a force for good, a force that drives progress while safeguarding the rights and dignity of every individual. Let's take inspiration from the words of Martin Luther King Jr., who said, and I quote, "The arc of this moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It is our duty to ensure that this arc continues to bend in the direction of equity, fairness, and sustainable progress. I call upon each one of you, the judges, the lawmakers, academics, technologists, and citizens, to embrace this responsibility with courage and conviction. Thank you very much for allowing me to participate in this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we move towards the conclusion of the inaugural session, I invite Dr. Ravneet Walia, Conference Director, and Registrar Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law to please deliver the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please. Thank you everyone. A very good afternoon to all. With immense pleasure, I extend a warm welcome and heartfelt gratitude for joining us at the International Conference on Navigating the Future, Ethics, Regulations and Sustainability in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, organized by the Center for Advanced Studies in Cyber Law and Artificial Intelligence and Center for Criminology, Criminal Justice and Victimology. I am deeply honored and grateful for the esteemed presence and valuable contribution of Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Honorable Mr. Justice Shil Nagu, Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Palli, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Vashisht, Professor Dr. Archana Mishra, Professor Dr. J.L. Kaul, Mr. Kishore Singh, and our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. J.S. Singh. Their presence and insights have added immense value to this conference. I extend my gratitude to the Indian Society of International Law, New Delhi, and All India Law Teachers Congress for their invaluable collaboration. I also extend a warm welcome and gratitude to the partners, academic partners, Equi-Law partners from New Delhi and Asian School of Cyber Laws from Maharashtra. I also extend my gratitude to all the faculty members who are present here, to all the deans, organizing secretaries, organizing coordinators, student coordinators, and all the members, all the students and HODs from the nearby colleges and also from the Punjabi University and RN group of colleges. I thank you everyone, and as we embark on this academic journey, let us collectively strive towards ethical, well-regulated and sustainable AI solutions that benefit the society as a whole. Wishing you all good luck for today's sessions. We have approximately 50 panelists and 100 plus presentations which will be given offline and online. Thank you everyone once again, and have an insightful day. Thank you, ma'am. I now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
For a quick group photo, I invite the academicians at the back to please join the dignitaries on the dais, and we'll have a quick photo, please. Prithpalji.
Center group over here.
All the students, your lunch is served here in the basement of the auditorium, please. Thank you everyone for being here with us as we embark on the journey for two-day conference. Faculty and staff are doing well. Lunch will be served in the guest house. Students who are attending this inaugural session, the lunch is served in the basement of the auditorium. Thank you.